This year I'm commemorating Remembrance Sunday here in the Netherlands by visiting the Commonwealth War Graves Commission Cemetery in the Krooswijk district of Rotterdam. There are 125 Commonwealth and 11 Polish servicemen buried here. Although I will walk past each of the graves to honour them, for this Remembrance Day I will be laying flowers at two Navy servicemen's graves. Able seaman William Arrowsmith Carr, aged 42, was married and came from Northumberland, and Stoker Second Class William Edward Stone, aged just 19, was from Middlesex, and both died when serving aboard motor torpedo boat number 622 on the 10th of March 1943. In a similar way to submariners, the MTB crews were a special breed. Unlike the larger, perhaps more famous naval ships with their big guns and famous names, the men of the MTBs served in small, fast craft, relying on surprise and usually darkness to complete their missions. They fought using tactics that were the Navy equivalent of fighting with fixed bayonets, up close and personal. In 1943, MTB 622 was part of the 31st MGB flotilla based in Great Yarmouth. It was a Fairmile D-class torpedo boat. Commissioned in November 42, these were big gunboats, 115 feet long, around 100 tons depending on configuration, and a crew complement of around 30 men. They had a top speed of 31 knots, and a typical armament was one 6-pounder, a couple of 20mm anti-aircraft, 450 anti-aircraft and 4 303 anti-aircraft machine guns, and two 21-inch torpedo tubes. On the evening of March the 9th, 1943, MTB 622 heads out over the North Sea together with MTBs 617 and number 624, the lead boat, for an offensive sweep off the island of Terschelling, that off the northern coast of the Netherlands. Around 2300 hours, they arrived at the patrol area and make contact with a group of armed trawlers known as Voorpostenboten. Also called VP boats, they were German patrol boats used for coastal protection duties, such as patrolling and convoy protection. They were usually armed with at least one 88mm gun, a number of anti-aircraft guns ranging from 20 to 40mm, and various machine guns. They had a crew of about 65 men and were able to engage and defeat these motor torpedo boats. The motor torpedo boat, having seen these trawler vessels, assumed they were part of the escort of a previously reported convoy of 8 merchant ships. In the ensuing action, one of the trawlers was set on fire. In the confusion, boat 617 loses contact, but 622 and 624 contact the convoy and fire 4 torpedoes at a tanker. 2 hits are claimed. During the action, 622 took several high-caliber hits. It caught fire and eventually exploded and sank. 624 tried to close in to assist, but was beaten off by incoming fire from German trawlers. 622 sank with a loss of 15 lives. 10 survived and were picked up by the Germans. Officially, both William Carr and William Stone are recorded as died of wounds received, so I assume they were amongst those picked up but died later and are laid to rest here in Rotterdam. So here we are in the first picture, and you can see it's a lovely autumn morning, the sun's shining. I'm just laying the first set of flowers by the headstone of William Stone. Just thinking of a 19-year-old lad that died on board one of these MTBs. And in the next picture, I'm laying flowers at the other headstone to do with this story, William Carr, 42 years old, and I'm just thinking, you know, for us it's quite shocking that he's got a wife left behind, but in the wartime it was actually quite a common thing, unfortunately. Just a quick shot of both of them with the flowers. You see one's behind the other. That was my remembrance, actually. I hope you enjoyed this short video. I'm sorry there's not much film associated with it. In the description you'll see a link to a 1940s movie concerning motor torpedo boats actually going out off the coast of Holland. You know, it's a bit of sort of a propaganda movie from the War Department, but it gives you an idea of what it was like to crew these motor torpedo boats and the sort of actions that they had to take on. Thank you very much for listening and watching this video, and the next video on my channel will be back to normal service with something to do with the hobby of lime steam locomotives. Bye bye.